Hi everybody. I wanted to share some things today about what I consider to be some of the most fundamental off-grid and homestead tools and equipment that you can have. It's a short list, and I'll be posting some more like this about maybe some tools and some bigger equipment that I find really useful and essential. But we're going to stick to some really simple, basic, relatively inexpensive stuff that most anyone can acquire or afford. Well, here are some essential homestead items. I'm going to go through one by one. Something that I consider essential, which may not be for everyone, is a dog. Yeah, dogs are really important to, warn you of any kind of approaching danger or just visitors. And they also protect you and help keep you sane. They'll be your friend, and they're another mouth to feed for sure, but they're, I think, well worth it. So start off with some basic stuff. And I'm not going to cover stuff like knives or lighters or kind of compasses, kind of basic camping stuff. I'm just going to talk about working off grid and living in a homestead. Leather gloves. You got to protect your hands. Buy a bulk pack of them because they'll wear out, like this one. Now, the next thing is a multi-tool. I'm kind of partial to the Leatherman brand, but I've used Gerbers and they work just fine too. This is kind of a more expensive one. This is their entry-level model. Now, you can get two of these for the price of one of these, and if you've got the money, buy two, because you will lose them. And when you're out in the bush and you're in a serious situation or a long-term survival situation, there's a saying that I learned years ago and I've always loved, and that is two is one and one is none. So when you got two, you still have one once you lose one. But when you only have one, you're just about close to zero. Headlamp. I can't overstate the usefulness and importance of the headlamp. I like a more robust model. It takes AA batteries. I'm just going to switch out dogs here. Yeah, I like a more robust model. It takes AA batteries. And I like to use rechargeable batteries. It saves a lot of money in the long run. And you could, if you get a USB compatible recharger, you can keep recharging them over and over and over again from a small solar panel or something like that. I like this headlamp because I can run it on a really bright mode, or I can just run it on a single LED and it'll last, really it'll last 100 hours or more on a single charge of batteries. They've all got their pluses and minuses, the different designs. If I was going backpacking, I probably wouldn't bring this heavy of a headlamp unless it was wintertime. But when you're living without normal electricity and you've got stuff to do, light is a huge deal. And with, two sets of rechargeable batteries, you can keep it going a long time. And all this stuff that I'm going to talk about, you might want to think about having a spare, because in the supporting equipment, like you've got a multi-tool, sure, you've got a knife, sure, but do you have a way to sharpen it, and do you know how? You could sharpen it with this kind of nice diamond sharpener, which might run you another $30 or $40. Or if you really need to, you can find a relatively smooth-grained, fine-grained rock and sharpen your knife with that. Just use plenty of water or light oil or spit or whatever you've got. And, that will maybe not give you the sharpest edge in the world, but it will definitely clean your edge up and making a functional knife out of it. So my next probably most favorite thing is a steel water bottle. And it's good for water. It tastes good, tastes better than plastic. It's really durable. You can use it as a pot. You can put it on a fire and boil water in it. And it's kind of hard to lose because it's shiny. It stands out. Rope. Another essential thing that people maybe don't have enough of lying around. And when it comes to rope and cordage, you want to think quantity, not just quality. Yeah, you might want some nice quality heavy rope for different uses. And you might want some expensive parachute cord for different uses. But you probably want a whole bunch of just cheaper rope. And another really good way to go is construction twine. You can get like 1,000 feet of construction twine for $10, and it will last you years, and it's strong enough to do most things with lashing, shelters, etc., etc. Parachute cord deserves a special mention for sure because it's actually a bunch of rope in one. You know, say you just need some light, really light cordage to lash some shelter sticks together. You can strip the guts out of the paracord, and you're going to get all these, you know, then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times the string, and you still have the outer sheath that you can use for something else too. It's great for, you can use it as pull cords for starting small engines, shoelaces, bootlaces, fishing line. The interior can be used as fishing line. It's really versatile, handy stuff. And, oh, I almost forgot the pruning saw. This brand here is really inexpensive and super functional. It's made in Korea. It's almost as nice as the Japanese made saws, and it cuts great. It stays sharp for a really long time. You could cut your whole winter's firewood with this if you had nothing else. I choose this over an axe simply because it's more useful. It's just better at harvesting wood overall. So I think this was like $27. It came with this really nice sheath that can clip on your belt, protects the saw, protects your hands from the saw. I really don't like it when saws and axes and things come with a cheap or non-existent sheath, because for actual practical use, this is really essential. This is part of the tool, and you got to have it, or your tool's not going to last that long. For, you know, clearing trail, building shelters, construction work, any of it, this can do it all, and it does it really well. But for general homestead use, I'm going to go back and reiterate, multi-tools. They make you a more effective human. Whether you need a screwdriver to drain the water out of a carburetor, or you need some pliers to, you know, pull out a fish hook that's under your skin, or you need need to tighten a hose clamp, or any number of things. The multi-tool just saves you so much time from having to walk back and get the tool that you do need. I can't believe I went as long without owning one of these as I did. Headlamp. I mean, these are getting so ubiquitous, almost everyone has one. Consider getting a little higher end model, and definitely consider getting a rechargeable battery setup for them, because, and I like replaceable rechargeable batteries, not headlamps that have a battery that's integral to the headlamp, because then once that battery eventually wears out, the whole thing is trash. If these cells start to wear out, I can get more of them, etc., etc. And you might really want to consider one that is charged by USB versus a plug, because USB is, you know, going to be more available in a remote situation. Way to sharpen your knife. Cordage, rope of all kinds, lots of it. Steel water bottle. And lastly, you know, something that people might not think about is you should probably have a way to keep yourself entertained and raise your spirits. If you're in a survival situation and you are, or maybe you need to have something to trade for your food or anything. Musicians are always welcome. If you have a small portable instrument, or even a big one, if you're on a homestead, this is gonna, keep your spirits high. It's gonna make you friends. You're having a bad day, you can sit down, write a song about it, and it's really can improve your mood. And attitude is everything. All right, well, I hope that's been informative and useful. If you're thinking about moving off grid or want to develop skills to move off grid, and or maybe you just want to go out camping, these are some kind of basic homestead tools that I use all the time, almost on a daily basis. And I think that you should get to know them.